So, hello, students. Here we are again. We are going to continue with our topic, which we had begun the last time. We were talking about past adjustments. So, let's solve some more questions on that topic. So, let's look at question 58. It says Mohan, Vijay, and Anil are partners. Their capitals on 31st March 24, after adjustments of drawings and profits, were 30,000, 25,000, and 20,000 respectively. Profits for the year ending 31st March 24 were 24,000. Their drawings were 5,000 for Mohan, 4,000 for Vijay, 3,000 for Anil for the year ending 31st March. Subsequently, the following omissions were noticed and it was decided to bring them into account. And these are their omissions which are given to us. Question says, make the necessary journal entry and prepare the capital account of partners. Okay, so we have to make that same single rectifying entry. Now, before that, we'll talk about what is given to us. So we have been told the capitals on 31st of March. This implies closing capitals. We have been told the profits of 24,000, their drawings of 5,000, 4,000, and 3,000. So if we have to calculate the interest on capital, we know interest on capital is found on the opening capital. So in this question, we basically need to find out what is our opening capital. For this, let us make the account. Let's make a partner's capital account, and there are three partners, M, B, and A. So we'll consider it in that way while we are solving. So since we are told the closing capital, we know our closing capital, we write it on the debit side. We will call this 2 balance carried down. The amount given is 30, 25, and 20. So 30,000, 25,000, and 20,000. What else is given to us? We have been told profits for the year ending 31st March 24 were 24,000. And it says the drawings were 5,000, 4,000, and 3,000. So we will show their drawings, which will come on the debit side. So 2 drawings. The amount is 5, 4, and 3. Profits are given as 24,000. And it says that we had omitted these 2 items, which is interest on capital and interest on drawings. So basically, we don't have interest on capital and interest on drawings in this question. So here it is as if which otherwise we would have written interest on drawings and we would have written some amount, but in this question, there is nothing. Similarly, on the credit side, the first item, which is opening capital, that is required to be found. So we will write it here. So 2 balance brought down. This is required to be found, so I'm not entering it. The other item which we are not written in this is interest on capital. How much is that interest on capital? We don't have to bother about because we have not taken it into account. Now, what are we left with? We are left with the profit figure. So the profit is 24,000. Now, 24,000 in this case would be divided between these partners in which ratio? It doesn't say about any ratio, so therefore I will divide this equally. So on the credit side, I'm going to write to profit and loss appropriation account, and the amount being 24,000, it means I'm going to give 8,000 to each. So this is in all our capital account. And through this, we have to calculate our opening capital. So what is the total here? This is 35,000. Over here it is 29,000. And here it is 23,000. Similarly, this total should be the same. So it will be 35. The next should be 29. And the following should be 23,000. So what is this amount? Let's understand this by keeping this X, this keep it as Y, and this keep it as Z. So according to these equations, we can write 35,000 equals 8,000 plus X. Therefore, X, which is equal to the opening capital of N, equals 35 minus 8, which is 27,000. Similarly, 29,000 equals 8,000 plus Y. Therefore, Y equals opening capital of V, which is equal to 21,000. And similarly, 23,000 equals 8,000 plus Z, which implies Z, which is equal to opening capital of A, which is equal to 15,000. So these are our opening capitals, 27, 21, and 15. What is the question also asking us for? The question is saying that we had omitted this. So we have to prepare the rectifying entry, that single journal entry. So our opening capitals, as we found out, 27, 21, and 15. These are done. So let's work now for making that single journal entry. So when we made the adjustment table, the first thing that we will do is for each of these partners, for M, for V, and for A, we will take back that profit which was given. So profit of 24,000 taken back in 1:1:1. So that became debit. We will write 8,000, 8,000, and 8,000. After that, after we take back the profit, now we are giving the interest on capital. So interest on capital, this is given, so it is credit. Now we found out the opening capital, so calculate the interest on capital. It is 10% per annum. So 10% on 27,000 is 2,700. So we will write 2,700, then 2,100, and 1,500. The next, we will write interest on drawings. Interest on drawings is a debit item. So how much are the interest on drawings? It says interest on drawings of Mohan is 250, Vijay is 200, and Anil is 150. So as it is given to us, we don't need to calculate, just simply write it. So 250, 200, and 150. 250, 200, and 150. Now, after we have done all this, what is our correct profit? So we will write correct divisible profit. How much is that? So we can work that out. We can write, instead of making the account, let's try and write it down this time. So we will write 24,000 minus 2,700, 2,100, and 1,500. 24,000 minus 2,700 minus 2,100 minus 1,500 plus 250 plus 200 plus 150 plus 250 plus 200 plus 150. Whatever comes, that should be our divisible profit. So 24,000 minus 2,700 minus 2,100 minus 1,500 plus 250 plus 200 plus 150. This gives us 18,300. So here I will write correct divisible profit 18,300 in 1:1:1, and this will be credited. So 18,300 makes it, if I divide that in this ratio, it comes out as 6,100. 6,100 and 6,100. So altogether now, what is the net effect? Let us calculate the net effect for every column vertically. Let's see what is our net effect. So 6,100 plus 2,700 minus 8,250. This gives us 550. So this will be a plus amount. Therefore, I will write credit. The second one is 6,100 plus 2100 minus 8200. This gives us 0. So here I will write nothing. The next one is 6100 plus 1500 minus 8150, which is minus 550, which means debit. So our net effect or our journal entry is A is capital. Now in this case, nothing was mentioned, I suppose. So the amount will be capital account directly. So A is capital account debit. A is capital account debit 550 to C's, not C's, N's. Capital account, and the amount is 550. Narration is being error rectified. Okay, this is our journal entry. And if we have to, as I think we also have to find the adjusted capital account balances, this means that whichever account now we have prepared and we found closing balance, balances, which were our opening balances in all those accounts. Now, because of this effect, the closing balances will change. So let's apply this entry to those closing balances. Therefore, the entry is A's capital account debit 550 to M's capital account. So when we made this capital account, we saw that these were their balances: 30,000, 25, and 20. So now we have to show, because of this entry, what is our adjusting or adjusted capital balance. So the entry was A's is to be debited by 550 and M is to be credited by 550. A is debited and M is credited. So we write it on this side. M's capital account balance. Now, that means the adjusted balances. M's capital account balance will be 30,000 plus 550 because we are crediting it over there. So it will be 30,550. Then V's will remain the same. So V's will be 25,000 and A's would reduce. So A's capital balance equals 20,000 minus 550, which makes it 19,450. So let's check our answer. A is 19,450, V is 25, and M is 3,550. So that is it. So these are our answers. Let's do another question. Let's see this one. It says K and T are partners sharing profits in the ratio 2:1. The following particulars are obtained from their books. Closing capitals are given. And it says it is after all adjustments as per the partnership deed. Then it says drawings during the year were given. These two, 10,000 and 15,000 per quarter. But 10,000 was per month and 15,000 was per quarter. Interest on capital is allowed to them as per the partnership deed at 5% on the opening capitals. That is by default calculated on the opening capital, so it's nothing new. Then it says divisible profit during the year was 3,15,000. Calculate the opening capital of partners. So simply it's asking us to only calculate the opening capital of these partners. So we will make a capital account. So solution 59. Closing balances are 615 and 360. K and T. Again, K and T. All right. So since we have our closing balances, I'm writing it here. So to balance carried down, it is given as 615 and 3. The next item, sorry, it's 360. Okay. Next thing given to us is the drawings during the year were 10,000 per month and 15,000 per quarter. So drawings, I know I write it on the debit side. So here I will write two drawings. 10,000 per month makes it 1,20,000 per year. And there it was 15,000 per quarter, so 60,000 per year. Next, interest on capital is allowed to them as per the partnership deed at 5% on the opening capitals. Okay. Interest on capital. This will come on the credit side. So I will write this as by interest on capital. Now this is 5% on the opening capital. So let us assume our opening capitals as some amount. So by balance brought down, and let us assume this to be X, this to be Y. So if I say this is 5% of X, so that means 5 upon 100, which is 0.05X. Similarly, this will be 0.05Y. What else is given to us? Divisible profit during the year was 3,15,000. So when we have divisible profit, we write by P&L appropriation account. And here it is 3,15,000 and the ratio given is 2:1. So we'll divide 3,15,000 in 2:1. So 3,15,000 into 2 divided by 3. This gives us 2,10,000. So here I will write 2,10,000 and the other will be, I think it's 1,05,000. Right? 3,15,000 will come only if this is 1,05,000. Right. Now, what is this account signifying? Since nothing else has to come in this account, therefore we can total both the sides. So here the amount will be 6,15,000 plus 120 makes it 735. Similarly, this side 360 plus 60 makes it 420. Which is also the same on the credit side. So 7,35,000 and 4,20,000. So now let us form these equations through all these variables that we have taken. So we can say, looking at this, only this portion, we can say x plus 0.05x plus 2,10,000 equals 735. So x plus 0.05 x plus 2 lakh 10 equals 7 lakh 35,000, which implies x equals 735 minus 210. 735 minus 210, which is 525 upon 1.05. So 525 divided by 1.05, which comes out as 5 lakh. Therefore, X is what? Our opening capital of which person? K. This is the opening capital of K. And similarly, the other equation was Y plus 0.05 Y plus 1.05 sorry, 1 lakh 5 equals 4 lakh 20. This implies y equals 420 minus 1.05 makes it 315 upon 1.05. Which comes out as 3 lakh. Which is the opening capital of T. So the answer should be 5 lakh and 3 lakh. Let's check. The answer should be 5 lakh and 3 lakh, which is correct. Let's look at the next question. It says A and B are partners in a firm sharing profits and losses in the ratio of 2:1. The following was the balance sheet of the firm as of 31st March 24. Capitals are given. You have some assets given. Then it says the profits of 4,50,000 for the year ended 31st March 24 were divided between these partners without allowing interest on capital at 9% and without charging interest on drawings at 12%. Okay, so they were divided between them without giving these two. And it says during the year, A withdrew 1 lakh and B withdrew 50,000. It says pass the adjustment entry and show the workings. So let's leave space for the adjustment entry. This is question 61. So we'll leave some space, then we'll do a working note. Let's make a capital account. Again, debit, credit. We have two partners. Their names are A and B. Closing capitals are 6 and 4. So I would write this on the debit side. So I would write this as to balance carried down. Amounts are 6 lakh and 4 lakh. What else is given? We have been told that interest on capital and interest on drawings is not charged. So we know we write interest on drawings on the debit side. So this is not charged. So we are not accounting for it. We know that we show by interest on capital on the credit side, which is also not paid. So we will put a cross just to signify that this is not there in our question. Then it says the profits of 4,50,000 for the year were divided between these partners without whatever, the interest on capital and interest on drawings. So here, this profit, the amount is 4,50,000 is divided. So I'm going to write this amount on the credit side, which I will call by P&L appropriation account. And the amount is 4,50,000 in the ratio of 2:1. So 4,50,000 in the ratio 2:1 into 2 divided by 3. That makes it 3 lakh and 150. Okay. This is what is there. It also mentioned, I think, the drawings. Yes. So the drawings were 1,50,000. So these drawings are shown up on the debit side. So here I will write 2 drawings. 1,50,000. Okay. Now, again, the same way. So here we have a total of 7 lakh. Debit side, we have a total of 4,50,000. So therefore, this total will also be 7 lakh. This total will also be 4,50,000, which implies that our opening balance, buy balance, brought down. This will be 4 lakh and this will be 3 lakh. Okay. Which implies also that now if we make an adjustment table, then we will have A and B. First is those profits that we have taken back. So profits of 450 taken back in 2:1. So that means I'm debiting it. If I'm debiting, we know this amount was 3 lakh and 150. So I will write 3 lakh and 150. Question is asking us to give that adjustment entry, right? So we are working towards that. What else do we have to give? We have to give interest on capital. So interest on capital is to be given at 9% per annum. So interest on capital. It's a credit item. Remember always that when we are making this kind of a way of finding out our answer, we are always going to think in terms of the partner's capital account. So interest on capital is credited. So 9% on the opening capital. And we found out our opening capital as 4 lakh. So that makes it 36,000. And similarly, 9% on B's opening capital, which makes it 27,000. So 36 and 27. Then interest on drawing. This is to be debited in the partner's capital account. So we will write debit here. Now we are told our total drawings. We are told our interest rate, which is 12% per annum. Total drawings are 1 lakh. So we know the formula. So that formula is the total drawings, which is 1 lakh, into the rate, which is, I think, 12, we read, 12%. So 1 lakh into 12 into the average period. Now, average period we'll assume to be 6 because we are assuming it is happening in the middle of every month. And this whole thing divided by 1200. So that gives us 6,000 here. So interest on drawings is debit. That means it's a minus figure, 6,000. Similarly, that for B is going to be just half of it because the amount is 50,000. So that corresponds to 3,000. Now, what is our actual profit? So correct profit, the correct profit or the divisible profit this we can find out by doing that simple math, which is 4,50,000 minus 36 minus 27,000 plus 6,000 plus 3,000. So this comes out as 4,50,000 minus 36 minus 27 plus 9, 396. So correct profit, that is your divisible profit, divided in that same ratio, which is 2:1, which means you're crediting it. So the amount is 396 and 2:1. So 396 into 2 divided by 3, which comes out as 264. And similarly, 396 into 1 divided by 3, which comes out as 132. So our final answer or our final amount, we will write it as for every amount written vertically, let's calculate the final amount. So it will be 264 plus 36 minus 306, which is minus 6,000, which means you got to debit it. And similarly, 132 plus 27 minus 153. That gives us 6,000. This is a positive amount, so we will credit it. So our final entry is, we have to write it on top. So A's capital account debit to B's capital amount is 6,000. Narration is being error rectified. Which must also be our answer. So we've got the same thing, A's capital to B's capital. Let's do another one. Let's see question 63. This one says A, B are partners sharing profits and losses in 3:1. The following is the balance sheet of the firm as of 31st March 24. So within the balance sheet now, we have A's capital written, B's capital written, which implies these are our closing balances. Then we have the drawings mentioned, A's drawings and B's drawings, and the sundry assets. It says profit for the year ended 31st March was 24, and it was divided between these partners in their profit sharing ratio, but the interest on capital and the interest on drawings was inadvertently ignored. So we had ignored giving these two. The question is saying give the necessary adjustment entry for the adjustment of interest. That means both the interest after consideration, you have to give an adjustment entry for that to rectify this error. It says interest on drawings may be calculated on an average basis for 6 months, which is as we did in the last question. So let's try question 63. Okay, so we'll solve it in the same way. It says to write the adjustment entry. So in our working note, we will make the partner's capital account. We have A and B on both sides. We have the closing balance given, which we will write as to balance carried down. The amount given to us is 90 and 30. Okay. Next, we have been told drawings. Now, I want you to understand one thing. These drawings are given within the balance sheet. And we are told these are the closing balances of our capital accounts. So what we have to understand is that these drawings will be included in these capital amounts. I mean to say that whatever these amounts are given to us, these are to be understood that they already include these drawings which are mentioned on the asset side. That is like the net effect. It's like how we have studied in class 11, where we have a capital account shown in the balance sheet. And in that, we add our net profit and we subtract our drawings. So the balance which we finally get over there is actually the amount which is left after we have reduced the drawings. So in this question, the only difference here is that this balance is given to us and these drawings are written on the asset side. If we consider class 11, we had never written it on the asset side. We had always done it as a deduction from the opening capital. Okay, so here what I'm trying to say, if I show it diagrammatically, I'll show it on this side. In class 11, if we made a balance sheet, we had written capital here. And on this side were all our assets. So when we wrote capital, basically it was the calculation of capital. And how did we calculate capital? We wrote our opening capital. To this, we added our profit and we subtracted our interest, our drawings. we subtracted our drawings. And this gave us a final amount. So whatever was the amount here, to this we added our profit, and from this we subtracted our drawings. This gave us a final amount, which was mentioned here. And this was our closing capital. Okay. So if we are in this question told that the drawings which are mentioned here, these are written on this side, what difference does it make having it being written here? It is in fact telling us our closing capital. This is our closing capital. A balance sheet always tells you your closing capital. So we are told our closing capital, which is what we are concerned with. Okay. We are told this amount, which is what we are concerned with. We are not concerned with whatever is written on the asset side in this case. For this particular question, I mean. So when we are solving this, we come back to the solution. Out of our balance sheet, the only amount which we are going to take over here is the closing balance of that capital. So we have written it as 90,000 and 30,000. Now, it says profit for the year is 24,000 and it was divided between the partners in their profit sharing ratio, which is 3:1. So this profit of 24,000 was divided between them, which is to be written on the credit side. So here I will write by P&L appropriation. Amount is 24,000 and it is divided in 3:1. So 24,000 in 3:1 will be 18,000 and 6,000. Once this is done, we are told, just like in the previous questions, interest on capital was not considered. So I'm not writing it here. Similarly, interest on drawings was not considered when this profit was distributed. So here also I'm not writing. So what will this give? Since nothing else is mentioned, I don't see any drawings mentioned for me also. Sorry, the drawings are mentioned, but those drawings are mentioned in the balance sheet. So since nothing is mentioned outside that balance sheet, so therefore, this is an assumption now that nothing else will be coming written over here. That means I will not write two drawings also. This is not to be written here. So what is the total of the debit side? It is 90,000. Total of the credit side is 30,000, which should be also on the credit side. So that is 90,000 and 30,000, which is how I will get my opening balance. So by balance brought down, this would be 90 minus 18, makes it 60. 90 minus 20 would be 70. So 72,000 it should be. And 30 minus 6 makes it 24,000. Now, if we go to making an adjustment table, since we have to pass an entry, a single entry, so we'll go to an adjustment table. This is of A and B. So here we will write profits taken back in 3:1. So when I'm taking it back, I will debit. So that means it will be 18 and 6. with a minus sign. Many of you will ask, why am I taking this profit back? The reason is to get a clear picture. We have formed a base where we are always taking back the profits which were given without appropriations. In this way, we will get our correct divisible profit later. So the first step is always, according to me, to take back the profits which were distributed, even if it is distributed in the correct ratio. So I have taken back my profits in the ratio 3:1. After that, I'm giving interest on capital, which is to be a credit item. How much is the interest on capital which I have to give? I have to give it on 72,000 and 24,000. So on 72,000, I give it at 5% per annum. So 72,000 into 5 divided by 100, which is 3,600. So this comes out as 3,600, and the other amount is 24,000's 5%, which comes out as 1,200. So 1,200. Then interest on drawings. This will be debited. Here I'm going to write, is it going to have some interest? Yes, it is going to have some interest. So what is that interest? I'm calculating 6% per annum. So 6% on 12,000. 12,000 is the total drawings. So 12,000 into 6 upon 100 into 6 upon 12. 12,000 into 6 upon 100 into 6 divided by 1,200. This comes out as 360. So interest on drawings is 360 for this person, and for the other is going to be on 6,000. So that means half of it. So 360 is half is 180. So that will be 180, right? Let's just check it. On 6,000, 6,000 into 6,000 into 6% into 6 months, which is the average period, divided by 1,200, which is 180, right? Now, what is our correct profit? Correct divisible profit. Correct divisible profit is 18 and 6 is 24. So 24,000 minus 36 minus 12 plus 360 plus 180, which is 24,000 minus 3,600 minus 1,200 plus 360 plus 180, which is 19,740. So 19,740 divided in the same ratio, 3:1. So 19,740 into 3 divided by 4. That is 14805. 14805. Similarly, 19,740 into 1 divided by 4, which is 4,935. Now, what is our final effect? This is going to be 14805 plus 3,600 minus 18,360, which is 45. It's coming in positive, so that is to be credited. And the other one, 4935 plus 1200 minus 6180, which is minus 45. This means we are debiting this. So our final entry will be B's capital account debit to A's capital account. B's capital account debit 45 to A's capital account 45. Narration is being error rectified or being adjustment entry passed. So let's see if this is our answer. B's to A's amount is 45. Let's look at another one. It says from the following balance sheet, calculate the interest on capital at 5% per annum for the year ending 31st March 24. So we are just to calculate the interest on capital. And in this question, we have our closing balances given of our capital account. We have something given in the liabilities side, which is our profit or a loss. What is it? The amount given is positive. So that means it must be our profit. Because I'll explain it like when I start the question, because I'll relate it to class 11. You'll understand it better again. So let's solve this. This is question 64. Okay. So we have been told our closing balances amounts of the capital are 1,80,000. So let us go back to class 11 and discuss what I was talking about. I'll just copy what I wrote on the top to help better understand it. Okay. So in class 11, I'm talking about a balance sheet. I'm explaining it again, keeping the previous question's explanation also beside this. So in class 11, we had seen that here we write our opening or we just write the heading capital. Under this, the first thing that we write is opening capital, whatever is given to us. To this, we add our profit, which I mean the net profit. Okay. Our net profit, we add to this. From this, we subtract our drawings. And we would get a closing capital. This amount which comes in the outer column, this was our closing capital. Okay. So the question in which we are doing, question 64, is telling us that we have the closing capital given to us. What else is given to us? We have some drawings given to us. We have some drawings given to us, which is not on the liability side, but it is on the asset side. Okay, but never mind, it is shown over there. Then we also have some profit given to us. Is it the total profit? Let's see. We have been told a profit figure of 40,000. Profit for 23-24. So that is this much for this year. But it is saying the total profit is 70,000. And out of 70, how much is given into the balance sheet? 40. So that means the difference is not yet shown. And how much is this difference? The difference is 30,000. So this profit is not yet shown in the balance sheet. Therefore, what is signified here? Over here, the thing that is written is only 40,000. What should have been over here? 70,000. So how much is not here? We have not written 30,000. You understanding? So we have not written this 30,000 yet. Opening capital is not given to us, so we are not concerned with it as of now. What we are concerned with in this balance sheet is the closing capital which is given to us, the profit which is given to us. These two are relevant for us. So how much are we going to show in this capital account that we are going to make? So let's make this capital account. When we make this capital account, we can write our closing balances. So two balance carried down. The amount for A is 1,80,000. So these are to be written. As I said over here, this is what is relevant to us. So 1,80,000. This is what we have written. Then out of the profit, I said 30,000 is not yet shown in the balance sheet. That means it would not have been included. 30,000 would not have been included in the capital balances. In the closing capital balances. So therefore, I will have to show it in the capital account that I make. I will have to show it. So here, if I have to show my profit, I will write by profit and loss appropriation account, and I will show this balance, which is of 30,000, and it's divided in which ratio? 2:1. 30,000 and 2:1 makes it 20,000 and 10,000. Now look at this. In the balance sheet, we have been given drawings of B only, whereas outside the balance sheet, we have been told A is also drawn drawings of 16,000. So B's drawings of 20,000, which are mentioned outside the balance sheet, are totally shown here. This is totally shown. This is totally shown to get the closing capital balance. That is, it is included in getting the closing capital balance. So therefore, A's drawings is the one that has to be mentioned. So here I will write two drawings, and the amount will be A's drawings, which is how much? A's drawings is 16,000. These drawings doesn't have to be included. Now there is practically nothing else to be written in this. So let's find out our balancing figure. So 1,16,000. This side is 80,000. These amounts come on the other side. So 1,16,000 and 80,000. What is the difference? The difference will be known as by balance brought down, which is our opening balances. So 1,16,000 minus 20 makes it 96,000. 80 minus 10 makes it 70,000. So these two are our opening balances. And since we calculate interest on capital on these opening balances, we have been told our interest on capital is to be calculated at 5% per annum. So interest on capital of A is 5% of 96,000. 10% is 9,600. So 5% will be half of that, which is 4,800. And interest on capital of B will be again 5% of 70,000. So 10% of 70,000 is 7,000. So 5% will be half of it, which is 3,500. So these two should be answers, 4,800 and 3,500. Let us check. Yes, it is 4,800 and 3,500. Okay, now let's look at one more question, which talks about adjustment entries in place of a single journal entry. And how is such a thing done? So let us read the question and then I'll tell you what we have to do in this. Okay, this question is not complete over here. I'll just explain this concept first, and then we'll talk about what we have to do. Normally, this is a type of question which doesn't come, but still, just in order to know the concept, we can just learn the concept. It says adjustment entries in place of a single journal entry. I'll give an example to explain it. So we have to pass adjustment entries in place of a single journal entry. So up till now, we have seen, up till now, what we have seen is what all errors we do or what all omissions we do, we pass a single entry to rectify those errors. So rectification of these errors at this particular stage in partnership accounts, it can take place in two ways. And when does it take place? First, we'll discuss that. So it takes place at the beginning of the next accounting year. Okay, at the start of the next accounting year for this partnership business, we do the rectification. But we have to just find out what is that rectification entry, that single journal entry. Now, I'm coming back to the ways in which this is rectified. The first way is what we have seen. We pass that single journal entry. The second way in which we find this thing out is, or we solve this type of an error or an omission, is by making adjustment entries. Now, these adjustment entries are many. That means it depends on the number of errors. Okay, so depending on the number of errors, we pass those many entries. And for that, we prepare something which is called a P and L adjustment account. So the P&L adjustment account is prepared. Okay, so let's say that there are two partners. Okay, I'm giving an example. There are two partners, A and B, and they have not been given interest on capital at the rate of 10%, capitals being 1 lakh and 50,000 respectively. They are also, or they have also not been given a salary of 5,000 per month. So they have both, I can write they have both, in fact, also not been given a salary of 5,000 per month. Question says, pass adjustment entries by preparing a P&L adjustment account. Okay, so this is like class 11, where for every error, we were passing one rectifying entry. Okay, and that same type of a concept is here. So it's nothing different. Let us see what we will do. So my first entry of interest on capital. So when I have to give them interest on capital, which account will I prepare? The account which is saying to be prepared is P&L adjustment account. So if this has to be given to them, some account will be debited, which is P&L adjustment account debit 2. Since I'm giving them interest on capital, so it will be interest, sorry, to A's capital account and to B's capital account. The amounts will be 10% on 1 lakh and 50. That means 10 on 1 means 10,000 and 10% on 50,000 makes it 5,000. Total was 15,000, which I will write here. So narration is being error rectified. You can say via the P&L adjustment account. This is my first entry. Now I've not given them a salary. So again, P&L adjustment account debit to A's capital account and to B's capital account. The amount here will be, it is how much? 5,000 per month. So that means 60,000 in the year. So each of them is getting 60,000, 60,000. Total is 120. Narration is again the same. So being error rectified by the P&L adjustment account. Now, what happens with all this? We have given something, and this is shown in a P&L adjustment account. So let's, in order to know how to close this account, let's look at this account by making it. So we make a P&L adjustment account. It has two sides again. On the debit side, I'm going to show two interest. Sorry. I can write it as interest. So interest on capital A and B. A was getting an amount was 10 and 5, and similarly salary was 60 each. So 10 and 5, that makes it 15, and 2 salary A and B, amount was 60 each. This comes out as 120. So on my debit side, I have a total of 1,20,35. So 1,35,000. This, when I have to close this account, think of this as a P&L account. If I have to close this account, I'm getting a balance on the credit side. So what do I call this? This is my loss. So I will write by loss transferred to A's capital account and B's capital account. And how much will it be? Each of them, since nothing is mentioned, I'll divide it equally. So 1,35,000 divided by 2, which is 67,500. And 67,500, which is 135 in total and 135. So now I have to do a third entry to post this or to transfer this amount into the capital account. So this also has to be passed, which would be A's capital account debit, B's capital account debit to P&L adjustment account. Amount will be 135 and this will be 67,500 and 67,500. Narration in this case would be being loss transferred out of the P&L adjustment account. So these three entries have to be passed in this case because we are passing entries for each and every error or each and every omission. So we'll stop here. This was our concept also. So we have gone through this concept. You may practice more questions, see whichever questions are difficult, and get a fair idea of the different variety of questions that could be there in this topic. Till I see you again, do practice, do share, do like, do subscribe. All the best.